Hi guys, Darth is here, back with another video. And today, a video I wanted to do for a while now, and I wanted to give an update on my Star Wars The Vintage collection, or 3 3/4 inch, I guess, Star Wars 3 3/4 inch slash vintage collection. Uh, collection. I did a 3 3/4 inch collection video a number of years ago now, and the collection has definitely, of course, grown over the last few years. So, just wanted to do an update video, that'd be kind of fun. First off, just gonna show off my card collection. I'm not a Minton card collector. I open the majority of my figures, but the vintage collection is some of my favorite figures to keep on the card. But I pretty much always get doubles of the ones I have on card. I think I have doubles of every single figure that I'm going to show that I have on the card. But a couple that aren't on the main wall. I have the newer vintage collection, Return of the Jedi. Boba Fett. He is actually on the wall beside my framed autograph from Jeremy Bulloch and around my 6 scale stuff. And then this is the 2013 Clone Wars wave that I think was released everywhere except for the States. Captain Rex, which is surprisingly a pretty kind of rare and expensive figure these days. But he's really cool on the card as well. But those are two that I don't have in the main room with the rest of the figures, so I just kind of grabbed them off where they are usually at. But starting off here, we've got the Tartakovsky Fordo, or our Trooper Captain. Absolutely love that they made a card back with the actual 2D art. I think that looks super nice. I definitely had to have him on the card. And I got the Captain Rex, which I like that card back. It looks good. The figure is not that good, but the card back's cool. The Commander Wolf, character I didn't need to have on the card, but I saw the card back art. I really liked it with the edit with the Tamara Morrison looking like he's acting as the character, so I really like that card back a lot. Clone Wars Obi-Wan, this is the face print re-release. I have the original release loose, but I always like this card back. So when they re-released this with the face print, I decided to pick them up just to keep them on the card. You have the Clone Wars Darth Maul. Love this card back. Love the character, and then I think the card back art looks super awesome. I absolutely love that one. Probably one of my favorites right there. The Shadow Stormtrooper, or Shadow Trooper from a few years back. I bought 2 of these. I actually wasn't even intending to keep this guy carded. I was going to open both of them, but I actually liked the card back enough where I decided to just keep this one carded. Got the pretty recent Dark Times Darth Vader, another card back I really like a lot. I'm happy to have a Darth Vader in the vintage collection to keep carded. I didn't have any of the previous releases, so this one's really nice to have carded. Another one of my favorites is the more recent Palpatine. Really nice, the vintage card back from way back when, reused for the newer figure. Looks really good. I do apologize for the lighting, but lighting in this room is not the best. This one's probably is my favorite card figure. We have the vintage collection Darth Malgus. I absolutely love that artwork. It looks super sick. Unfortunately, the bubble on mine, this is like a decade-old figure at this point. The bubble's starting to looks like yellow a little bit, but I still absolutely love this card back and this figure and the character. And then the recent re-release of Shea Vizsla was one I always wanted to have, so I definitely had to get it carded and loose. I really like that card back as well. And we got the Durasteel Mando and the Beskar Mando. Not actually a huge fan of the Beskar Mando card. It's alright, but it's not like that crazy good. And then my Durasteel one I like that card back art, but the packaging's in pretty rough shape. It's got a crease in the corner. It's got a crease in another corner. It's kind of bent in other areas because I got it from Amazon, and you know what they're like with vintage collection figures. So yeah. And then just on its lonesome there, I do have the 3 3/4 inch first wave of Black Series 3 3/4 inch Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. For whatever reason, I bought 2 of these and kept one carded. I don't know why. This packaging is really not that good, but yeah. A nice little memento back in that time, I guess. Yeah, that's the carded stuff, so I'll get on to the shelves now. So moving on to the actual shelves, I got about 3 relatively full shelves of vintage collection figures, which is, I used to have only 2 dedicated shelves, now I got 3. This is pretty much everything. I think there's like a handful of figures that I still have, maybe in storage or in other spots, but they just either don't fit on the shelves thematically, or they're just old and I don't really want to display them. But this shelf is majority vintage collection, but Mandos, the Mandalorian characters, Book of Boba Fett figures, and then some random stuff in the back. So in the front here, we've got Mando characters, multiple versions of Mando, and some of the supporting characters like Kuiil, the Mithrils back there. Got the Cara Dune and Grief Karga back there with the IG-11. The IG-11 is a really nice figure. In the Book of Boba Fett stuff, we've got the Deluxe Boba Fett. Absolutely love that figure with the Fennec. And then we've got a bunch of different Boba Fetts. Return of the Jedi. We've got Concept Macquarie Boba Fett, which I really like. The Holiday Boba Fett from 30th Anniversary, which I like more than the new one. I never got the new one because, well, one, I didn't find it, but also I think this one's just better. Jango Fett there, it's a vintage collection one. Got Toby Dalla from a comic pack. Jodo Cast, which he technically isn't a Mandalorian, but he wears Mandalorian armor, so he's just there. Armor, Mandalore the Indomitable, Shea Vizsla. Got a 5 POA, Sabine back there. And you got Bo-Katan and her cohorts there. Has along a couple of the Mando Death Watch Mandalorians. Clone Wars pre-Vizsla. I ended up getting rid of a lot of my Clone Wars figures, like the actual animation style, but I'm glad I decided to keep him. And I got an old, incomplete Clone Wars Death Watch Mandalorian, along with a couple of the new vintage collection ones. I really hope we get a vintage collection pre-Vizsla at some point. I feel like that's so long overdue. And we've got Darth Maul with the captains and the Super Commandos, which I did army build a little bit because I really do like them a lot. And back here, we've got some random bounty hunters. I got Clone Wars Cad Bane and Clone Wars Embo, a couple of other ones I decided to keep. An IG-88, Leia in the Bouche disguise, Nama Nor, a Geonosian. We've got the 3-pack, vintage collection 3-pack of Afra, 000, and BT, which are really nice. Astromech, Destroyer Droid, just some random stuff, some Force Awakens stuff. A couple of protocols, I think that's K-3PO, and then there's a C-3PO, who's Vachrome paint, which is really nice actually. I think that's from Revenge of the Sith. Some Hoth Rebel guys. You got Luke and Han and Chewie. And I got another Luke, Rebel Trooper, Biggs. That's the 30th Anniversary Biggs. I think they did a newer one eventually. That's the Rebel Trooper. The newer Lando from Solo, as well as Enfys Nest from Solo. I never bothered to get the actual Han Solo because he came out before the face print. And the figure's kind of boring, honestly. And I got Chirrut, which I would love to see the rest of the team that hasn't been made be made, and the other fig characters that have been made get the face print treatment. I think it'd be nice to get the full team in vintage collection. Got Akbar there, a couple more versions of Lando, Hondo, and Talon Card, kind of like smuggler, crime kind of guys, I guess. And I got Mando and Bill Burr, Migs Mayfeld in their disguises. So that's kind of that shelf. Pretty happy with that. Some extra space there because I'm sure we'll get much more Mando characters down the line here pretty soon. Next up, we'll actually go down here. Oof. This is my Clone Troopers and Jedi for the most part. A couple other random characters, but mostly Clone Troopers and Jedi. Right in the front there, though, I do have the Clone Wars Dirge with his swoop bike because I don't really have any room to put him anywhere else. Just put him on the floor there. But that's a really nice figure, actually. It's pretty old. It's like from 2003. But the bike's nice. It comes with a decent amount of accessories. The figure's pretty well articulated for being so old. So that's really cool. Yeah, I really like Dirge. It'd be super cool to get a new figure of Dirge, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Then on the side here, I got a probe droid, and we have a version of the speeder bike and scout trooper. I know there's a new vintage collection one coming out. I'm pretty sure when I bought this set, it was like $20 or $30 maybe. And now they want... and Canadian, and now they want like $75. It's on Amazon, $75 before taxes Canadian. That's for something like this. That's crazy. But Jedi, we just got some random Jedi, a few different versions of Luke. Really like the Dark Empire version. Ahsoka there, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Comic pack here with the Ki-Adi-Mundi comic pack figure, and we got Sharad Hat and not Sharad. Definitely a couple of my favorite Jedi figures I have. Very happy to finally have both of them. I've had Sharad for a while, but Sharad I just got this previous year. That's the light up lightsaber Obi-Wan, and we got a really old version of Qui-Gon. We definitely need some updated version of those guys. I hope we do get those eventually, even though they probably don't make them anytime soon because they probably wouldn't sell that well. But definitely a new Qui-Gon. Need a new Qui-Gon. Some Obi-Wans, some Anakins. Got a couple of different versions of Padawan Anakin, and then we've got the Wandering Jedi Obi-Wan and the newer face printed Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan. Pablo Jill, which is a really nice figure for a pretty, non-knowable character. He's like a background character, but he's a really nice figure. Quinlan Voss from Vintage Collection. We got Barriss and her master, Luminara. Got the Ayla Secura, which I'm glad they reissued / repainted because I never had that original figure. Revenge of the Sith Kit Fisto, which surprisingly holds up really well, but I would like to try to track down the Vintage Collection one, the newer Vintage Collection one, or it'd be nice if they made a new one or re-release that old Vintage Collection one at least. That's the face print Mace Windu. Really happy to have a good Mace Windu. I've had the Mace Windu in my collection. Has been the old Revenge of the Sith one for ages, so I'm glad to have a better one. Sweet Joy from the Order 66 2-pack, surprisingly good for how small he is. And we have Clone Wars Jedi. We got Obi-Wan, Clone Wars Ahsoka, younger Clone Wars Ahsoka, Anakin. We have my 501st guys. We got a couple versions of Rex, Bad Batch, and normal Rex. We've got the 3 ARC troopers there, Jesse Echo 5s. Got one of Ahsoka's troopers. We've got the newer 501st trooper they released not too long ago. Then we have 2 older Vintage Collection 501st, 1 official Saga Legends 501st, and then I think 5 KO 501st. The KOs are surprisingly well done. They're not bad at all. Maybe sometime down the road I might buy a few more of them, but we'll see. A couple more ARC troopers from Battlefront. And we've got the Tartakovsky ARC troopers. I got the Tartakovsky, I think that might be Saga Legends, I can't remember. Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I really like a lot, with the newer Fordo, and then the 3 blue ARCs. I would love to get more of these guys, but they are kind of tricky to track down. You've got Captain Gray there. We've got the Commander Neo from the 3 Course Black Series, which is a really nice one. I really like that Neo. We got Keller. We've got I can't remember the one from the Bad Batch. I can't remember his name for some reason. It starts with an H, I think. I can't remember. Hauser. Got Hauser there, which is really nice. Wolf. We got Faye. Some Galactic Marines. I think that's the 442nd. The green markings, I think. Some of my absolute favorites, the Republic Commandos. Love that I have those in. There's Feast Grata back there as well. Unfortunately, my Republic Commandos, they're starting to yellow in the torsos, which really sucks. Because I absolutely love those figures. I hate to see them yellow, but there's not much I can do about it now, I guess. And then they got one of those like Coruscant Elite Troopers or whatever, the gray markings that it took them like 3 times to get it right. They got Devis there, and we've got the old Fordo, Vintage Collection Fordo, which I have in the Phase 2 armor. I'm glad they did the re-release because my old Fordo, his midsection's like completely yellowed now, which really sucks, but I still like having it because he's got the Phase 2 armor. Got Yoda and the Kaibuck back there. Tartakovsky, Anakin with the tattoos with like the markings on him, which is super cool. A couple of Phase 1 clones. Got the Lieutenant, which I think is also yellowing. Gree, one of his Kashyyyk troopers. Wouldn't mind getting a few more of those Kashyyyk troopers. The yellow ARC trooper. The yellow Neo style looking trooper, which is super nice. The Airborne trooper, which I'd love to get either an update to that figure, or I'd just like to track down more of these older Airborne troopers. They're some of my absolute favorite looking clone troopers. I really need to track down a Cody too. I don't have a 3 3/4 inch realistic Cody. I have an old Clone Wars one, but I need a realistic Cody. But not exactly the easiest to track down sometimes to get like one of the good ones. Then there's just like a Senate Guard, one of the clones and fatigues. And we got Republic Trooper from Old Republic. I didn't really know where else to put them. And we got Proxy and Starkiller from Force Unleashed 2. And then up here, the last shelf is probably my favorite. It is my Sith, Dark Side / Empire, and some other guys' shelf here. And this grew a lot over the past year. I decided to finally track down a bunch of the Sith characters I've been looking for, a lot of Grail figures I've been trying to find. But I guess starting off over here, we've got the newer Palpatine, the new Dark Times Darth Vader. And we got some Royal Guards. Got a couple of the Vintage Collection Royal Guards. Or actually, I think those are the Black Series reissues. And then there's a 5POA one. 5POA Palpatine's back there, which is actually pretty nice for a 5POA figure. If you just need a Palpatine that's just standing there, it's a really nice figure. We got some officers. I would really love to track down the comic pack Grand Admiral Thrawn at some point. Replace the Rebels one there. Or I'd love for them to make a brand new Vintage Collection Grand Admiral Thrawn. That would be awesome. But until that happens, the Rebel one will be the placeholder. Death Troopers. We got a number of different Stormtroopers, from some using the new molds, a couple Shadow Troopers there, the Stormtrooper Commander, got a Purge Trooper. We've got a couple of the Assault Trooper and the Remnant Trooper, a couple of solo Star Wars Story figures, got the Range Trooper and the 5POA Mimban. Never found the Vintage Collection Mimban one. Sand Trooper, couple of Stormtroopers from Saga Legends, I think, and then the one in the front is like the Vintage Collection with a removable helmet. Elite Squad Troopers back there. We've got the Force Unleashed Jump Trooper, which is really nice. The new Dark Trooper back there. K2SO I just use as a KX security droid until they make the whole SWAT, the whole Rogue One team. The old Dark Trooper, just pretty fun to see the comparison there. How different and also somewhat similar the designs are. Kind of cool. And we've got the Space Trooper, which is a really fun figure, really cool one. The Evo Trooper, Heavy Trooper, whatever you want to call that. And then there's the Gunner, TIE Pilot, Macquarie Concept Stormtrooper, or Snow Trooper rather, which is pretty cool. Kind of cool to see how they use some of those elements of that design in like Star Wars Rebels and such. I got the Imperial Knights from Star Wars Legacy, which is really nice. I'm very happy to have all of them. I really like those characters. First Order stuff, we've got a Praetorian Guard, we've got some Sith Troopers, Jet Trooper, Sith Jet Trooper. We've got the only the only Star Wars Resistance figure I own, which is Von Reg. I really like the design, so I got that figure. A couple of other troopers, got the Executioner, we got a 5 POA Snow Trooper, we got the Normals Trooper, Phasma, Snoke, and then we've got a Knight of Ren there, and we've got a 5 POA Unmasked Kylo Ren. We've got the articulated Vintage Collection / old 3 Black Series Kylo Ren. General Grievous back there because I didn't know where else to put him. And we've got Inquisitors. We've got the 5 POA Inquisitors. I think I have all the ones they made. That's Grand Inquisitor, and then we've got the 5th brother, and the 7th sister, and the Rebels Darth Vader. All nice figures, just to wish they were articulated. Got the Clone Wars Savage Opress, which is really nice. The Clone Wars Darth Maul. And we've got the Evolutions 3-pack, shirtless Darth Maul there, and the Rebels Darth Maul. Would love to see an articulated figure of that Rebels Darth Maul as well. Then we have multiple versions of Vader. We've got a Comic Pack Infinities Darth Vader, which is pretty nice. We've got the Macquarie Concept Vader, which is pretty unique. I like having different unique Vaders. Got the Revenge of the Sith Black Series Vader, which was my reigning champion Darth Vader until the Dark Times one came out. The old A New Hope Vintage Collection one. We've got the newer Rogue One Vintage Collection one. Black Series 3¼ Empire Strikes Back one, which I think still is pretty cool. He has those cool effect art for his hand with the blast deflection, which I like. The Emperor's Wrath Darth Vader from Vintage Collection, which is pretty nice as well. Really like the head sculpt and the translucent plastic leaves there. The Force Unleashed Battle Damage Vader is another favorite of mine. Really great looking. I put the Revenge of the Sith Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader up here because he's got the Sith eyes. He's technically Darth Vader at that point, so put him up here. Really love that figure a lot. Really nice one from the first run of Vintage Collection. Got the Shadow Guard from Force Unleashed, was really nice. And I've got Kir Kanos and Karnor Jax up here as well, which are a couple I wanted to add in the collection for a long time and finally got. Prince Shizor is in there from the Compact. He's real nice. Moff Tarkin, would love to get a Grand Moff Tarkin from the original trilogy, but the old Vintage Collection one's really expensive. I don't want to spend that on a Grand Moff Tarkin, so I kind of hope they make a new one at some point. Or reissue with face print, I'd take that too. I think it's like Legacy Collection Darth Sidious Emperor Palpatine, where the way they painted his face is based off the original look that he had in Empire Strikes Back, not the Ian McDiarmid look, which is kind of cool. It's a nice figure. And we've got Mara Jade from Black Series 3¼ inch, which I still really like a lot. Looking forward to the Black Series one, the 6-inch one, but this one's still real nice. Reva, obviously a newer character. Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus. This I think is the very first figure they ever made of him. I definitely want to get an upgrade that has the more modern articulation and sculpt at some point, but I just haven't been bothered to do that yet. I also would just like them to make a brand new Darth Tyrannus, the brand new Count Dooku. He is so overdue for a Vintage Collection figure. It's unreal. I don't know why they don't make it. I think he'd sell well, and it was I think either this year or last year was the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. I don't know why they didn't make a Count Dooku. Got Comic Pack Ventress, which is really nice. I finally have a 3¼ inch Ventress, which is really good. Tor Skull from that same Comic Pack. Revenge of the Sith Darth Sidious, which is real nice. I like that figure a lot. And then the Phantom Menace Darth Sidious, alongside the Phantom Menace Darth Maul, which is still one of my favorite Mauls in the collection. Darth Plagueis, which I've had for a while, and really awesome. We even ever got a figure of him. Got the Sith Stalker Armor Star Killer along with Darth Phobos, which is a more recent release. Really nice, very unique figure to have in this sea of black. Darth Crate, one of my absolute favorites. Super happy to have him in the collection. Darth Nihilus, one of my absolute favorites as well. Most of these are some of my top favorites in my collection. Recent acquisitions from last year, I finally got my hands on Darth Revan and Darth Malak. Malak's again, new Black Series figure, 6-inch figures. I'm very much looking forward to, but I'm still happy to have these original figures, even though they've got their flaws. They're still really nice to have on the shelf and with the rest of these Sith characters. Very happy with them. Definitely highlights in the collection. And we got Darth Malgus and Darth Bane from the evolution pack that Maul and Nihilus came from. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the collection's growing really nicely. I've filled a lot of holes that I've been wanting to fill for years now at this point. Last year I really did fill a bunch of the holes, especially when it came to my Sith characters I want from the Sith that I really want to get. There's still figures I gotta track down that I don't know if I'll ever get. Like Darth Nile's so expensive now, but I want to get him. There's a few others I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've got a lot of the major ones. Darth Talon's another one I'd like to track down at some point. And I'll probably never get Keldrome and Exarchon. They're so expensive. I would only spend that money on 3 unicorns figures if I was filthy rich. Or found them for a really good deal. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one, I guess. May the Force be with you.